Hi, my name is Raz, and I have been playing RuneScape since 2004. I am a 20-year RuneScape veteran, and I have been playing a bunch of Dragonwilds since it came out. At the time of making this video, I've logged about 12 hours, and I'm here to tell you my first impressions of Dragonwilds. I also currently play both old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by, well, me. I am a Twitch streamer and YouTube content creator. I'd greatly appreciate a subscribe here, a like on this video, or a follow on my Twitch channel, especially if you want to see more content from me, and both things are free and help support me as a creator. Okay, so in this video, we're gonna go over a few things. We'll go over what I like about Dragonwilds, what I don't like, what I think could be improved, and finally at the end, I will talk about whether I think it's worth to play in its current state and worth spending your money on. So let's just get into it. First of all, the things I liked most about Dragonwilds is the environment and the characters. I loved seeing the wise old man, Doric, and Vanica, doing quests for them. It just made my little RuneScape heart so happy. The building and the ability to make blueprints before you build, 10 out of 10. And the world just feels so good to exist in. I just want to run around, gather items. It feels almost like when I first started playing RuneScape all those years ago, and all I wanted to do was explore and do simple tasks to skill up. The quests put me in a direction, which I love. Sometimes if I don't have a direction, I can quickly get overwhelmed. And the fact that there are side quests as well is absolutely top-notch. I did do a vault on my character. Once I had the right weapons and armor, it was a ton of fun, and I loved the challenge. So far, the crafting system, I am loving it. Not all of the features have been released yet, but I think my favorite part about the crafting system is that you can just set it and forget it. So you can put in your materials and ingredients, and then you can just walk away, and it just magically does its thing for you. I personally think this is a huge quality of life win, and I am so here for it. Now let's talk about what I didn't like, and at the time of making this video, some of these issues are still not fixed. However, the team did recently post an article, which I will link in the description, of the upcoming changes. First, and the biggest issue that will be fixed in an upcoming patch, is the frequency of raids. At one point, it seemed like I was getting hunted or raided every 5 minutes, and that is something I saw posted in the RuneScape Dragonwilds Discord as well. Pretty much everyone agreed that the raids happened far too often, as well as the dragon attacks. But I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, as this will be fixed in a future update. Second, and this seems to be a bug, the dragon poison attacks go right through the roof of your house, which I'm 99% sure is a bug and hopefully will be fixed in a future update, though this was not mentioned specifically in the article. Another item that is mentioned frequently as a suggestion in the Discord, which I agree with, is the hunger and thirst degrade far too quickly. I even timed it out on stream, and you have to refresh every 10 minutes, going from almost full hunger and thirst to empty. I think this is far too frequent, especially if you want to go out and spend an hour or so exploring. That's a lot of food and drink that you need to bring with you. Lastly, the combat definitely needs a lot of love. So far, we can really only level our melee, so I can't speak a lot to magic and ranged yet, since we're stuck at level 1 for the time being, but every single melee attack, regardless of the type of attack, uses stamina. What we really need is a basic attack that does not use stamina, because if you run out, your character cannot do anything, and I mean anything. You are just standing there, you can't dodge, all you can do is kite the enemy until you recover. However, sometimes the enemies move faster than your walking speed, so even if you are trying to avoid attacks while your stamina is totally depleted, you can still get beat up by enemies, which in my opinion is kind of unfair gameplay. But again, that's just my own opinion, yours may differ. Finally, one thing I would love to see, Jagex, if you're watching this, please, I'd love to see difficulty options added into the game. I want to see everything from casual up to hardcore. This game has huge potential for those of us cozy gamers who want a more relaxed experience where we can build the house of our dreams without worrying about attacks or raids. We can easily defeat enemies and progress through at a relaxed pace. So introducing a casual mode where we can turn off raids, keep all of our items when we die, and have an easier time with combat would be great. As well as a normal mode that more or less stays the same where the game is at now, all the way up to hardcore mode. Which, I'm not a hardcore survival game lover, so if that's you, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see for a hardcore mode. Personally for me, I could see your hunger and thirst degrading a lot faster, resources are harder to find, and maybe you even lose all of your stuff when you die. So that's just some examples that I thought of. I just think that there could be a lot more options for difficulty so that you can customize the game to exactly how you want to play it. But let's take a look at overall what I think of this game. Despite its flaws, I actually find myself returning to Dragonwilds over and over, and I can't quite put my finger on why. I guess there's just something about the world that keeps drawing me back in. Even though the game is a bit challenging for my liking, I just like to exist in the world. It's like coming home. It's like a warm hug. It's familiar in a way that I did not expect. And even if you are not a current RuneScape player, I would say after a few updates and patches, give this a try. In its current state, I do still think it needs a lot of work, but if you can deal with some of the issues that I mentioned above, I'd say go ahead and dive right in. Otherwise, in general, I'd say for most folks, I would wait for a few updates before spending your hard-earned money on this game. But I will say, I personally do not regret spending money on this game, and I find myself thinking about just being in the world. Even as I'm making this video, I'm hoping that I'll have enough time to play it today because I just want to go back there. I just want to exist there. I just want to look at the world, and I just want to be present there. I know that that's very vague and nebulous, and honestly, it's hard for me to describe why I like it so much, but I just want to go back there. I just want to live there. That's really all I have to say about that. Anyway, so that about wraps up my video on RuneScape Dragonwilds. I know I didn't go into a whole lot of detail. I really wanted to do just a high-level overview for folks who are interested in this game, and I thought you would like a perspective from somebody who is a long-time RuneScape veteran. If you want to see more from me, and I'm sure I will make future content related to RuneScape Dragonwilds, be sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or you can follow me over on Twitch, and I will see you all next time. Bye!